All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a Jalen Green video. He makes his return to the Houston Rockets tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, Jalen has not had the most consistent season so far in his rookie year, but he has shown major flashes. 5 out of the last 6 games he played in, he scored in double digits. The game right before the game he got injured, which started our 7-game winning streak, he scored 11 points in the first 10 minutes. The first game where Daniel Theis was out of the starting lineup. So Jalen right now, he's shooting 38% from the field. He's shooting 28% from downtown. He's still averaging about 14 points per game, so he's still finding ways to score the bucket. But I think what I want to see right now, first off, this should be the last game without KPJ. So tonight, I would imagine we see Eric Gordon go back to the bench. I would imagine Armoni Brooks gets another start at point guard. So the good news is KPJ is going to be back real soon. But Jalen Green, man, in just his 3rd NBA game against the Boston Celtics, dropped 30 points. I mean, Jalen Green almost had that amazing 4th quarter against the Los Angeles Lakers early on in the season where he actually almost won the game with a step back 3 over Anthony Davis. Unfortunately, did not get that to go in, but Jalen Green has shown a lot of flashes. And I actually got a comment on the channel not too long ago about a comparison to Devin Booker. But before we get any further into this video, guys, if you enjoy it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're about 175 subscribers away from 10,000. So every like, every comment, it really helps out the algorithm, push this video out to new people. So I appreciate all you guys. Devin Booker is obviously one of the best scorers in the NBA right now. I think that's kind of the hope for Jalen Green, almost like a Devin Booker, Zach LaVine guy, like a 25 point per game scorer. I could definitely see that happening with Jalen Green. But here's the most important part about what was different from when we had Jalen Green to what's been different right now. So essentially, we were running out these lineups of Christian Wood at the 4 and Daniel Theis at the 5. And then you would throw in Jae'Sean Tate at the 3 spot. Well, the issue with that is Daniel Theis is not a great floor spacer. He'll take open threes, but if you see if you're an opposing center and Daniel Theis is on the perimeter, more often than not, you're going to let him take that and you're going to collapse and provide help defense if someone gets to the paint. So you add Christian Wood into that mix, and then you add Jae'Sean Tate, who has he's been getting better from downtown, but at that point he was shooting like less than 25% from 3. Jae'Sean Tate's a type of player who thrives in the paint. So the spacing was just god-awful. The spacing was terrible for KPJ. The spacing was terrible for Jalen Green. And then, as I alluded to earlier in the video, once you got Daniel Theis out of that starting lineup and you got Christian Wood at the 5 and Jae'Sean Tate at the 4, where he can really thrive, that's where you saw Jalen Green being used properly, scoring 11 points in just 10 minutes against a really solid Chicago Bulls team. So Daniel Theis better be out of the starting lineup tonight. If he is not, they're still going to have floor spacing issues. But another reason I'm excited to have Jalen Green out there is I'm kind of imagining our starting lineup consisting of KPJ, Jalen Green, Garrison Matthews, Jae'Sean, and Christian Wood. And I absolutely love Garrison Matthews. First off, we're going to get a replacement for Garrison. You know, once we find kind of our franchise small forward or a star-ish small forward, that's when Garrison Matthews is going to be put back on the bench and he's going to be somewhere in the 8th, 9th, 10th man in the rotation. And that's why I really liked that Garrison Matthews signing, is because, yeah, you're asking him to do a lot right now and he's stepping up to it. But obviously, I mean, he's shown he can struggle on the road. He's Gary Bird in Houston, but he can struggle on the road. Still, a relatively young player with, he's got NBA experience, but, not that much, especially with a role, a starting role where you're seeing 30, 35 minutes every single night. So when we have Garrison Matthews in that starting lineup, he just helps stretch the floor tremendously. I mean, no team, even if Garrison Matthews is shooting 0 of 8, no team is going to let that man take a wide open 3. Nobody's going to let him take that because he is so good at shooting 3. I mean, when he gets hot, he is hot and he is very hard to stop. So the floor spacing is just going to be a lot better. But also, one thing I really hope Jalen Green did this during this injury, because he hasn't played in about a month. I hope he watched a lot of game film. I hope he watched a ton of game film, and I hope he's been watching game film on the team right now and seeing what's been working. Because ever since Tice has been out of that starting lineup, the Houston Rockets are maintaining an offensive rating of above 110. Last like 10 or so games, they've had an offensive rating about 115. Maybe it's down to like 113, 112 right now. But they've been playing really good offense. You know, the issue has been defense. I mean, in that Chicago Bulls game, the issue was defense. The other night, defense. Against the Bucks last night, defensive issues. So long term, you know, I'm not really thinking about long term. I really just want to use this season as developing and just kind of seeing, all right, who fits us long term? Does Christian Wood fit us long term? Does Jayshawn Tate fit us long term? Because the Rockets really should be trying to build their organization around their star players. And their star players, their young star players are looking like KPJ and Jalen Green right now. So you want to just make sure you surround these guys with players who make them better and they make the other guys better. So it's a really fun time to be a Houston Rocket fan right now, man. They're missing key players. They've been missing key players that are finally starting to come back, and they've been exciting to watch. This team plays with heart. They play with hustle every single night. So Jalen Green only coming back, that's going to be great for the culture. You know Jalen, he's cocky, he's confident. Maybe, you know, cocky sounds kind of like a rude word, but he's a very confident individual. And as KPJ did when he got injured, he said, I feel like when we were in that losing streak, I wasn't playing like myself, and I kind of knew I wasn't playing with like myself, but when I went back on film, I could really see I wasn't playing like myself. So what happens? KPJ comes back from injury. In like his 4-game stretch, he averaged about 9 assists per game when Daniel Tice was out of that starting lineup. So I don't have worries about KPJ being our long-term point guard. I want to see how he plays the rest of the season. Obviously, I want to see how Jalen Green and him mesh, because I think with Daniel Tice out of the starting lineup, it sounds crazy to some people, because Daniel Tice is a really good defensive player. He's a really critical player on defense. 21 and 10 the other night against the New York Knicks for him. So there's still a role for Tice on this lineup. It's not starting, in my opinion, and it might not even be the bench. It's more of like a pick and play when you're playing a big, aggressive team like the New York Knicks, maybe like the Utah Jazz. That's when I would want to put in Daniel Tice. But for the most part, with the addition of Garrison Matthews and the subtraction of Daniel Tice, I think we will see a much improved Jalen Green. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb here and tonight say he should score over 20 points. I think he's going to come out strong. He's going to come out attacking. And like I said, I hope he's been watching that film, seeing ways he can improve. But I think Jalen Green drops at least 20 tonight. My prediction is going to be with 24 points. And then, like I said, we're going to be getting KPJ back here really, really shortly. So that's it for today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Jalen Green's return to the lineup tonight. Let's see some predictions down in the comment section. And as always, hit that like button, drop a comment down below. And if you guys are not subscribed and you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button for daily NBA content. Also, I do still have my Houston Rocket Daily channel where I post several times a day on that. So give that a check if you guys like daily Houston Rockets content. I'll see you guys later.